Another Chapter 5 teaser was just revealed in this new artwork that hides a ton of secrets for the next game, including a new never-before-seen character. Plus, we got some other recently leaked character names for an unknown project, an IRL Poppy Playtime horror attraction, a potential new Poppy Playtime song coming soon, and much more. So first, it was a huge deal a few weeks ago when it was revealed that Poppy Playtime would be collaborating with Fortnite and the other game they own, Rocket League. And finally, last week, both of these collabs have officially released, with a Huggy skin and some other accessories in Fortnite, while over in Rocket League, there's a Huggy car skin that appears in Fortnite as well, along with the Nightmare Huggy goal explosion, which I am absolutely in love with. I definitely recommend picking it up if you play Rocket League at all. In some other interesting news, something I haven't mentioned much is that for whatever reason, over in Saudi Arabia, there was this pop-up Poppy Playtime horror attraction called Poppy Playtime Hide and Shriek that is basically a real-life haunted house inspired by the Poppy games. It contains a ton of various characters, props, some of the environments even look like they were pulled directly from the game, and overall it looked a bit cheesy, but it's pretty cool to see them do something like this. I can only imagine what it'd be like to see this in real life, and maybe one day Poppy will grow to the point where attractions like this are seen more around the world. Moving on, recently Mob Entertainment posted on Twitter requesting male, female, and child singers, which led to the community wondering what exactly this is for. Is it a song for a new game, a new IP, possibly even Chapter 5? I'm not sure, but while we can't really know for now, this will be something cool to look back on hopefully soon when we see what it ends up amounting to. In an interesting theory update, the people over at Game Theory just launched a merch collab with Poppy Playtime containing a bunch of Smiling Critters stuff, specifically in an 8-bit theme, which has actually led to a lot of people wondering if this collab is meant to be a subtle tease for a future Poppy Playtime project, as it was leaked months ago that Mob was working on some 8-bit Poppy themed game kind of like this merch. And also to celebrate the aforementioned Fortnite collab, the devs dropped some more 8-bit art here, so maybe this could all be subtle foreshadowing. That's what people are theorizing anyway. And furthermore, in the promo release for the collab, they also flash some clues that there are secret messages in the merch and to check the neck, which some believe could imply there are secrets in the merch itself, or possibly even for an ARG, which could be true. I don't know. I haven't seen Mob say anything about this, but I guess we'll see when it arrives. Next, going into some leaks, as you likely already know, over the past few months, the names of various characters have kept getting leaked as Mob copyrights them for future projects like a Chapter 5 or whatever else they're working on. And recently, we got a couple new ones that might be the weirdest ones yet. First, we have this one named Ragbag and another one named Gutter Plush. And to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what these things could be. Ragbag seems like they could be a ragdoll type character, just judged from the name. But as for Gutter Plush, I don't know if I can even make a guess on them. It seems like they might be named after gutters, so maybe it could be for an animal that typically roams around gutters like a squirrel. But that's all I can really say. And to be honest, with these characters being trademarked now and being so weird, if you ask me, I think there's a good chance that they aren't Poppy related, because Chapter 5 just got its teaser trailer. So it'd be weird if they were still developing new characters, and if the past trademarks are assumed to be for Chapter 5, there's already a million characters that are supposed to be in the game, so I think this would only serve to blow up the chapter more, so I guess we'll see. But now, moving on to the main thing I wanted to discuss with this video, there's the Halloween art. See, among all of the Chapter 5 trailer and Steam page stuff that dropped on Halloween yesterday, the devs also snuck in this little image celebrating Halloween. And as expected, it is filled with references, secrets, and teasers, including Chapter 5 stuff, as the artist Amber said. Looking at the art, we could see all of the Poppy Playtime characters at some kind of pumpkin patch full of jack-o'-lanterns, but it's what's on all of the jack-o'-lanterns that I find the most interesting. First, there are a few references to past Poppy characters, memes, and other medias. Like we see the Harley Sawyer eye here, a poppy flower, a person surrounded in fire, which is a recreation of this meme, a bunch of lines here, which is in reference to this meme, a TV head here, which I've heard is a reference to Deltarune. There's this skeleton hand thing that could potentially be referencing the prototype's hand, although I'm not sure on that. There's this light here, which is meant to be a check engine light that flashes when something is wrong with a car engine. But there's also a few more notable jack-o'-lanterns. Like, for instance, here we can see a face with crossed out eyes and what looks like a stitched on mouth. A face you might recognize from the Poppy Playtime Fortnite loading screen revealed a couple weeks ago that featured this weird new stuffed animal, with this pumpkin, at least in my opinion, appearing to mimic the same face, which, with them now teasing them multiple times, implies they are likely important for a future project. Furthermore, on this jack-o'-lantern, we could see the star walkie-talkie, which was first referenced all the way back in August of this year through this art, and also featured in the Fortnite loading screen artwork, so they are clearly important as well. Plus, among all of the stuff we recognize, there's also a plethora of faces that we don't recognize. Some just look like generic pumpkin faces, like the ones here at the front, but there's also some more specific ones, like this swirly face back here, or what about this one-eyed teeth face here, or this fanged one here. These could be references to things I don't know, or just be regular generic faces, but we did see last year when we got some Halloween art that teased chapter 4, those jack-o'-lanterns there teased characters like the Doctor and Dowie that we hadn't really seen before, so it's possible some of these could have a deeper meaning as well. But outside of the jack-o'-lanterns, there's also a couple of weird, unexplainable things that definitely mean something, I'm just not sure what. For instance, over in the back here, we see what looks like some kind of pole and a baseball on top of it. What in the world is this thing? Well, to be honest, any theory I could come up with is going to be a long shot, but looking at the item, it has a bunch of wiring around it like it's electrical, and there's also this weird yellow knob here that looks like it could be attached to the grab pack like what we see on the current arms, and so maybe this could be some kind of grab pack attachment that will be used as a baseball launcher. I mean, it would make sense as a gameplay mechanic, and I did find it odd that in the recently released Steam description for chapter 5, they said there would be new grab pack tools and functionality instead of just saying there were going to be new hands. So maybe there will be other upgrades to the grab pack this time around, possibly including this weird arm. It's definitely a stretch, but that's my best guess for now. Another very strange tease in this art is that over on the right, we can very clearly see some kind of human hand grabbing the side of this tree. And furthermore, if you look close, you can actually see some braids of hair coming from behind them that stretch across some of the pumpkins. What in the world is this? If you ask me, I can only assume it's a new character of some sorts for chapter 5, and more specifically, there might be a previous leaked name that could help us out here, being this one that leaked a few months ago of a character named Lily Lovebraids, who, judged from the long braided hair in this art, I can only assume is who this character is meant to be. I'm not exactly sure, but this art is packed with a ton of stuff. I'm sure there's stuff I didn't notice, and I'm sure we'll have to look back on it in the future to potentially give us some hints when we have more information. But subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and I'll talk to you guys later.